Check one, check two. Hi, it's
Hello.
GW from the Chatterbox podcast. Last time we discussed, oh my God, it's my mind's blanking. What did we talk about the last time? It was connected with motivation
Yeah,
or something,
and didn't we?
or something
Yeah,
like,
it was past. Yeah,
something like that. It's all lost in history. Okay. Uh, There's a record of it somewhere, I'm sure. Right. Okay. Well, I wanted to stay on the positive vibe of motivation for people and things. And I was thinking about the mental muscle, right? That's my theme,
yeah,
right? The mind as a
yeah,
muscle that needs to be trained to work in the best way possible. About staying not just physically strong as a person, but also mentally strong. I think that's key. That people need to learn to train the brain and manage the emotional state so that they can behave more productively as people.
yeah. I'm on that same level, man. Because that's the most important thing. If you don't train that, then the other things will not matter because it starts with
Yeah,
that.
and very often
Like,
we're not ever taught how to do that, right? We're taught what to do, but how is a different kind of monster, right? The way
yeah,
that people need to approach that, and very often parents are too close to their children to be able to teach them properly, and maybe within the school system, that's just chaos, right? Here's 30 kids and one teacher, and off you go.
yeah, exactly. Because you got 30 kids with 30 different
Mhm.
visions. So yeah, just try to get all those visions
Yeah,
together.
it's like giving 30
So
kids one football, right?
yeah, exactly.
It just
Yeah.
seems what happens as a
So
result. So I mean, that's the kind of environment that we throw people into, and we sort of leave them to fend for themselves. And some get it, and some don't. So you kind of need to build a positive platform to develop the mental muscle. So I've got some ideas that are going to be they're going to be in my new book. I have a book coming out in a couple of weeks. Called Principles for Leadership, and one
oh,
of one
cool.
of the it's basically a hundred rules for leaders, if they want to lead, and this is one of the rules, or one of the pages. Every page is a set of rules to follow, or strategies to develop ideas, and this is the mental muscle page. So maybe I can share these, and you can give me a yay or nay, or if you think it's a good idea, and we can go through it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Super.
cool, man.
Right. So we've
Yeah,
got first point would be number one: learn to move on. Yeah. Very often we get trapped in the past, and the people shouldn't waste time holding onto regret, because the past is dead and gone. I mean, acknowledge it, but move on.
I agree, man. I agree because the thing is, you cannot go on if you don't. Most of the thing is that you caught up in the past because you regret
Mhm.
something. You did something and you cannot forgive that part, but you have to forgive that part to
Yeah,
move on because that's the only way to
I
get back on
remember we
track.
talked about language before. It's coming back to me now.
Yeah,
Yeah, the word
yeah,
regret is very close to the word regress, which is
yeah,
which is a really negative principle, because you're
yeah,
going backwards instead of forwards at that point
yeah,
in time.
yeah,
Okay, next
yeah,
next I've got stay in the driver's seat. And what I mean by that is don't become passive in life. Take control of what's happening in the world around about you as much as you can. So I think too many
yeah,
people are waiting for things to happen to them, and I don't quite know where they got this idea from, that someone's going to come with a silver tray and deliver everything to them that they want. But it it's not, as far as I'm aware, it's not going to happen, right? So you need to stay in the driver's seat and have some control over your life.
Yeah. Exactly. You're the creator. So you are the creator, and you can create anything you want. But I'm a strong believer of law of attraction, but I'm also a strong believer of a law of action. So things will come to you, but you also have to do things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without attraction, without action, there can't be any attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the way to look at it. And you want to be, I mean, from time to time, it might be nice to be a passenger, but you don't want to live your life as a passenger, right? You want to have some kind of control there. Okay. Moving on. Embrace change. It's necessary to welcome challenges that are brought into your life as necessary tests. And this is understanding that the challenges you face are challenges you need to face. They're there for a specific reason.
Yeah, beautiful. Because a lot of people don't like to change. You change every second of the day. So just embrace it. Change is growth. Change is moving forward. What you say. Change is getting out of your comfort zone and learn more. So.
Yeah, it's when you say change every second, it's like flow. Right, you've got to be in connection with the world around about you, and as the things change around about you, so you must change to a certain extent as well.
Yeah, because you get emotional, right? But emotion is energy, emotion. So you're always in motion. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. How I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the motion is related to the emotion as well. I mean, there's a balanced relationship there that you're not going to change one without the other, basically.
Yeah. Change is all about movement. You're always on the go. You never stay still. Even if you think you're staying still, but you're not. You're always in movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one. Let's get through the list because it's a good list. Hopefully,
it's a good book.
It's not out yet, but you know what? I'm gonna when I put it out, I'm gonna do the rounds of calling people and setting up interviews and talking about it and stuff. So I'll get a copy to you, and I would I'd appreciate any feedback on it, because obviously it's not going to be perfect, and I'll be looking for ways to tighten it up here and there and make sure that it is better. So
cool.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out as an ebook for a couple of months, and I'm going to get feedback from people about the good and bad, and then I'll polish it up a little bit and hopefully publish it fully next year. So I'd like people to be able to contribute, so it's a more collective effort. But
nice.
We'll see how it goes. So yeah, 4 is obvious. It's remain positive. We all go through ups and downs, and we don't need to waste our energy on things that we can't change. And very recently, I just came across some information about the differences between being optimistic and pessimistic. Yeah, and there were some studies done by universities together with businesses where they employed intelligent people who were pessimistic and less intelligent people who were optimistic, and they followed their progress. And you can guess which group had more progress, right? The less intelligent but optimistic group progressed much more than the intelligent but pessimistic, and that's the growth mindset principle. And it makes. Sorry, on you go.
No. Yeah, when I'm talking to someone, I strongly feel that if you have a communication or a discussion, for me it's simple. If I have a communication, then I'm willing to talk with you and have a communication. But if you have a discussion, it's already in the word discussion. So it's like a bit of a disgusting kind of way of talking, right?
Oh yeah, well this is negative prefix, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
exactly. You try to make a point. You try to prove something, and I don't have to prove nothing. I only tell my story, my truth, not your truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always willing to learn from others. I'm willing to learn from how you see your leadership. So if I agree, I will agree. But if I don't agree, it doesn't mean that it's not good for you, or it's just not how I see it. But it's not. Yeah, somebody if they hear that, they immediately think, hey, what's going on? I think this is good. Yeah, maybe for you, but not for me. But that's not the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to see the other person in the conversation as being on the other side or the enemy or something like that. You want to see them as someone who's going to help you achieve your goal.
Yeah, exactly. That's truly this. That's how truly this.
Yeah, and you don't want to work against them. You want to work with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to bring them down, right?
Oh yeah.
That's always my approach. It's, man, I just want to lift everyone up, and if you are willing to be lift up, yeah, that's good. But if not, then it's all okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you see that a lot in business as well. I mean, there's a different. You see it in the successful companies. There's a different kind of thinking where they're trying to lift everybody up in the better organizations and in the better companies. Definitely.
I don't believe in competition. I only believe in collaboration.
Yeah, there's it's a more positive way to look at it when people collaborate. I'm not against competition, although
I know what you mean, Graham. I feel.
There's definitely a downside to. There's a way in which competition can be abused and then used in the wrong way,
exactly.
used in a bad way. So as competition that lifts everybody is welcome.
Yeah.
Right? And the collaboration is a nice way to look at it as well, because you can't have a competition alone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you need to collaborate with people. Okay, that's we're 4 in, and there's 8, so we've got 4 more to do. So moving on, it's be kind. Be kind when thinking about developing the mental muscle, and this is related to the fact that kindness is a complex art, I think, that strengthens human resolves and tests the internal character of a person.
Yeah, beautiful said, man.
Because
you already said it. You already said it. Be kind. You have to be it, not want it, because you only attract what you are, not what you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so the language there is extremely important. Also, the root of kind is kin, which is family, which is closeness. Okay. So you've got to think of the people around you, that if you're going to be kind to them, you have to think of them as kin, as your family, and you're going to care for them in the same kind of way. And it's hard to be kind all the time. It's a real test, because we're pushed and pulled by everything that's happening around about us, and it's a great stress on people. And you see a lot of failure in a lot of places with that kind of element.
I know what you mean, because we've been taught to be kind, because then we are liked, right? And if not, then you're not liked, and then you're not you. Then you cannot be yourself. So that's why I know I can understand what you're saying. It's not always easy to be kind.
Yeah, and it has to be an honest kindness, because there's an etiquette of kindness where you can. There's a kind of learned kindness, which is cold, and it's not good, because everyone's polite and nice to each other, but there's no passion.
Depth. No depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's a kindness that you want something for return, and that's not how I'm about. I'm kind because I'm kind to myself. And that's the difference. Then I don't need no kindness for others. I'm just being it, right?
Yeah, sure. And
that's the difference.
Yeah, kindness to yourself. Yeah, kindness to yourself is key. There's a lot of this, rise and grind mentality, and I'm not against the grind of hard work, but at the same time, if you don't realize that you're in pain when you're in pain, which happens sometimes in life, then you're not being kind to yourself if you don't acknowledge your real feelings.
Exactly.
Okay, we've got next on the list is take calculated risks. And this is defined as looking at a cost to benefit analysis of the choices that you have to take and make before you take any steps forward. So you look at everything that is important. You look at the decisions that you have to make, because you have to make decisions if you're going to go forward, and you have to be able to weigh those decisions, to look at them and realize that there's going to be benefits if I do this, things I'm going to gain, and there's going to be costs to me. There's going to be things I lose as well.
Yeah, I see now like this. I've experienced this a lot of time now. Any decision that you made is the decision that you had to make. Any decision that you had to make is the decision that you had to make. Really, if you look back in your decisions that you made, it brought you here, right?
Yeah, well, it's like your decisions become you. That becomes who you are. Those choices to make the change that you need to make, or not, you become the results of those choices.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of people that been successful, and I don't mean successful by material stuff, successful by being you. And they've been asked, like, how would you be with this knowledge that you have today, and you go back 20 or 30 or 40 years back, and what would you tell yourself, right? What would you tell yourself? Then they said, but almost everyone said, just relax, because everything will come to you at the moment when you're ready. So it's not by relax, don't do nothing, but really worry mostly about the choices we make. Oh, if I do this choice, what will happen? Yeah, we will figure out soon enough.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears, right?
That's one of my most beautiful quotes I ever would come about with me. Yeah, that's exactly true. Exactly true.
Yeah, because you're at that point where you need to know, and one of the keys to education is you can only teach a person who's open to learn, right? Yeah. And you're not, and that window or door of opportunity is not always open, right? There are periods of time when you have a chance, and there are periods of time when if you don't take that chance, you miss it. And personally, I don't believe people talk about second chances. I think everything's a one chance thing. You get one chance, and you might get a similar opportunity again, but it's at a different time in a different place, and you get one shot at everything, and you got to take your best shot each time. Each time you might not be ready for it, but you got to take it.
Yeah, that's the thing that you go to fear, right? Fear is stopping you from the choices you want to make. So sometimes you have to go to that fear, and then you'll see that's the other end of what you want or what you want to be.
Yeah, it's what is the fear broken down to? FEAR, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah, but I break it down to this: if you have that right, fear, false evidence appearing real, eventually, when you are more going to fear, then it's more like feeling exciting and ready.
Okay.
Feeling exciting and ready.
Oh yeah, being ready, knowing that you're ready, is extremely important.
Because most of the successful people I'm talking to, they know that fear has to be in your journey. Because if there's no fear, then you're like perfect. Right?
Okay.
Like, nothing
you're not being challenged. You're not facing the challenges.
Yeah, exactly. So successful people know when there's fear, they confront their fears, because that's the only way to grow.
Oh yeah.
Step out of the comfort zone.
And you can, if you channel it in the right way, you can probably feed off your fear as well. If you channel it in the right way. Okay, we got two more. The next one is invest energy in now, because basically there's only one place and one time where you can affect any meaningful difference or change. And that's the present moment. And you know, we have plans and visions for how we'd like the future, hopefully, to be. And we also have, you know, memories of the past, and those things are important, but you can't reach back into the past and change something, and you can't reach out into the future and move something if you're not there yet. So the only time is now, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've got to invest some energy in being able to focus on the present moment.
Yeah, it's beautiful said, and that's all about beingness. You know, you want everything in the future, right? You want a bigger house, boat, or it doesn't matter what it is, material stuff, or you want to be love, or all those kind of things. No, you have to be love, you have to be happiness, you have to be peace, and all those kind of things. So then it's also the things that you are going to be experiencing, because that's all about knowing something is different. It's a totally different thing than experiencing it. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's that difference between knowledge and understanding, right? Which is that everybody knows how to ride a bike, but not that many people understand the physics of what is actually happening that keeps a person balanced when they ride the bike. So it's important to realize that knowledge is not understanding. No. You know, the information that you get is just a tiny part of the whole picture that you have to put together.
You know, you can read everything out of a book, and you can have so much information there on, you know, on the internet, everything. But if you really experience it, then you can relate on that book, or can relate on things you have seen in a movie. Then it become whole. You know, then it's something that you never ever forget, because it's in your emotional body, it's in your whole energy field. So you can talk about it in an instant. Boom. You don't have to even have to talk. Don't have to dig deep. Where is it? No, you feel it. Boom. Because it's part of you, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. You become what you need to become in that moment. And the last one I've got is to help develop the mental muscle is accept responsibility, which means that everything that you do is a result of everything that you want to do. It's a result of your choices. It's your decisions, and you have to focus on accepting this responsibility, because you can't move forward if you don't accept who you are and what you do, and the fact there are consequences to what you do as well.
Anything has consequences, everything. So yeah,
it's like a long kind of I think of it like a domino effect. Whatever you do today, but you know, it touches somebody else, or it moves them, and they touch someone else, and they move, and you don't know where it's going to end, right? It's part of the, you know, the pay it forward principle, right? You know, just do something nice, be kind, because you don't know where it's going to end, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And why not go down that road? So those are the basic principles that I have for developing mental muscle, and I hope that they will be positive for people, and that people will be able to reflect on them when they go through the book, and that hopefully it'll help them think about ways that they can maximize their potential and perhaps be more ready for smarter, more productive outcomes in their life. Hopefully, I mean, who knows?
I know for a fact that people will appreciate that book for you, man. I appreciate it already. So even though I know a lot about it, but I'm always willing to learn. So it's beautiful, man. Let's keep up the good work.
Well, let's just keep distilling the information, the complex information, into try to put it into simple principles that that people can adhere to, they can stick to, they can follow, and you know, there's always room for improvement as well. There's always room for taking ideas and changing them, and everybody's different, and everybody has a slightly different perspective and approach on things. So as I said, that's just the basic information on one of the pages, and there's going to be 100 pages in the book, and each page is designed to give somebody motivation, inspiration, and education. So
Nice to see.
so hopefully that will be cool. Hey man, thank you very much for giving me half an hour of your time this evening.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you as well. And it was a nice conversation. It was nice to inspire each other, So
super, yeah.
Inspire. You know where it comes from, right? Inspire. You know where it comes from? Inspire.
Inspire. I'm blanking out. Help me out. Where does it come from?
Inspire comes from Latin, and it means to breathe. So we give each other air, lift each other up to a higher level, right? So give each other back their lives, and that's what I'm all about, to inspire people.
Yeah, it's interesting that, when you were saying inspire, the first thing that came into my head was the spire from a church. The tall part at the where the bell is at the top. That's the spire of the church. So it's it's interesting that there's a religious connection, and I'm quite sure that those words are very specifically chosen in religion for very specific reasons. So
nice.
So that's interesting as well. Wow. Hey man, keep in touch. Please keep in touch through the Anchor system or through the internet or through Facebook, and hopefully, you know what? Maybe I can pick another page from the book and call you up and we can chat about it. And
cool, man. I'm always into it, and if I'm not picking up the phone, then I'm not. I cannot do it. But if I pick up the phone, you don't have to explain. Like, if you have time, I have time then. So no time pressure.
You know what bugs me is that in my life, every day is different, right? And it's really hard to plan calls with people. People say, "Oh, I'll call you on Thursday at 5." It's like, that's okay, but I have time when I have time. Right, it's like when I have time, I have time, and when I don't have time, I don't have time. And sometimes, most of the time, I don't know until that moment that the time exists or not. So it's difficult to plan stuff. Hey, anyway, good luck with the podcasts and the chats and the information and putting everything out there. And if you've got anything, if you do anything that's interesting, send me a link to it and we'll put it out to people. And if people want more information about anything that you do, where can they find it? Can they find it
from me? You can
any inspiration from you online, a website, or
mostly on Anchor, because I've changed my name to Voice of Anyone, because this can be the voice of anyone, right? And and the funny thing is, I'm about words, right? And dicton comes from voice, and airy comes from anyone. So it's a dictionary. There you find the words that can use by your voice. So choose positive words if you want to lift somebody up, and that's all about the voice of anyone.
Absolutely. Hey, there's a couple of pages in the book about that as well, man.
Nice, man. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay, that would be good. Yeah, that would be very cool. There's a couple of pages in the book about doing things properly, using the correct language, doing little things like using your voice properly, which is something that people don't think about very much. But
it's nice, man, because you know what it is. If I use words, I just want to penetrate in people's hearts, that it sticks, right? And if they remember that word, they have a deeper meaning with it, and it sticks more and more. Like communication, what I've talked about, right? You remember, right, what the word was? Come together, one, and Kate captured together. We captured that oneness, like that. And now, for instance, you have to imagine, we're standing in front of each other. We're breaking down this podcast, and we just go each other away. And I like to hug people, right? So I give you a hug now. Imagine that, right? I'm giving you a hug, a deep hug, like not like one quick and then a deep hug. Remember, okay? Give you a deep hug, and then I'm asking you in your ear, you know what hugs means, my friend? Hugs. Do you know what it means? HUGH. Hugs, HUGS. You know what it means? It means help us grow spiritually. Help us grow spiritually, I think.
And help us grow stronger. Help us grow.
Exactly, and that can be also. I said another person I also gave a hug, and he said the same thing. So you can fill it in what resonates with you, because I'm all about spirituality. So yeah, that's what
choose your words carefully and use your voice to make sure those words pierce the hearts of the people who are listening to them.
Exactly.
Okay. Hey man, thank you very much again. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we'll do it again at some point soon. Okay.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Have a nice day, right?
Yeah, you too. Take care, man. Bye bye.
Bye bye.